Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good afternoon, Vivek.
Good
Pramod
afternoon.
sir, are you available?
Yes, yes, I'm available.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Vivek. How are you?
Sir, I'm good.
Okay, so let's start then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Vivek, how are you?
Sir, I'm fine. Wonderful.
And currently you are in?
Sir, I'm in Aizawl, Lengpui, Aizawl, Mizoram.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And you are currently posted as a junior executive into air traffic management, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what is DeepSeek?
So, DeepSeek is the recent artificial intelligence platform which was recently launched by a Chinese company.
And why it is in news? Why there's so much of furor about DeepSeek?
So, the amount of money that they have spent in training those models and their inference capabilities are better than uh, are uh, very lower and cheap as compared to the models that are now, for example, OpenAI's ChatGPT.
Okay, okay. You are in aviation industry, and in aviation industry, can you tell me how AI has changed the aviation industry in last 1 decade in terms of usage, in terms of how the entire industry has been witnessing change?
Yes, one possible change that has occurred in the past 10 years is in the surveillance control. For example, there were there were primary radars and there were secondary radars, and now there are secondary surveillance radars and which can flag any activity. Even small drone can be detected in the radar flying anywhere in the world with this artificial intelligence systems.
Okay.
So this is one area.
Hmm. And also, but if you see in the last 6 months or rather 1 year, we have witnessed a lot of accidents in the aviation industry. Just now today, we had in the morning, we had an accident which happened. Then last month also, we witnessed one accident in South Korea. Then there was an accident which happened in, I think, one of the nations in the East European nation. So, in spite of getting improvement in technologies and better, adoption of technologies, why these challenges are being witnessed?
Yes, so there are plethora of reasons. There cannot be one possible reason attributed to these different accidents because they all have different reasons because those accidents. For example, Jeju airplane crash, which happened in South Korea, was because of hydraulic failure. The Azerbaijan crash, which happened, it because it was flying into an airspace which is a conflict-ridden territory, and
Hmm.
it was hidden by Russian Air Force.
Okay. Okay.
And so there are multiple reasons, despite having security and safety as the first priority, these accidents are quite unbelievable, and I think they should not happen.
As the technology is progressing, as you mentioned, there were technology failures, there were gaps in hydraulics. Now, these are unimaginable things, especially because the kind of the controls that are being there in place already, the checks are there, the control mechanisms are there. Now, in that respect, where do you see India as a country? Because as a person who is involved in the air traffic management, where do you see India?
So we have very pretty legislations in place. For example, recently in 24, we passed Bharatiya Vayuyan Adhiniyam 2024, which replaced the Aircraft Act 1934, which laid down three bodies: DGCA for regulating safety, BCAS for regulating security, and AIB for accidents. And these three bodies work in synergy so as to ensure that any possible incident does not go uh, does not go unlooked. So in India, we prioritize not in apportioning blame as to where the accident happened, but we have a forward-looking approach where we want that anything of that sort does not happen in the first place at all.
Okay, okay. Uh, you are in aviation industry since how many years?
So for the past 1.5 years, I have been
Mhm.
working as an air traffic controller in
Okay.
Linque Airport.
Okay. So, government few years ago launched this Udan scheme, and they have tried to integrate all the tier two, tier three cities into this ecosystem. But is it in terms of data, in terms of the revenue? Do you think that this model is economically sustainable in long run?
Yes, sir. For making it economically sustainable, we have to look at from a long-term perspective where we have to boost the consumer demand, where we have to bring the middle class onto the flights. And sir, as we see our aviation industry is progressing year on year 13% per annum. And I think it's very much quite possible. This Udan scheme has been tremendous in bringing the people onto the airports who were previously uh, not catered to.
Uh, you have, as a hobby, you follow aviation literature, right? What journals you follow as a as a person, as an enthusiast?
Yes, sir. I primarily focus on two journals. One is of safety,
Hmm.
matlab aviation safety, and second is on efficiency journals in which there are stress management and uh, journals research topics like stress management of pilots, air traffic controllers, and about duty time limitations. Those are the papers I quite look forward to.
Okay. Do you have understanding of the the military part, that is the Air Force, in terms of the fighter pilots, that fighter aircraft that we have? So what is the difference between a 4G technology and a 5G technology? I mean 5G aircrafts and 4G aircrafts.
Sorry, sir, I don't know the specific differences. I just have a vague idea about it. So
Uh,
I'll leave.
so so there is 4G. You mentioned that the radio, as far as the air traffic controller, you have radar system. So how the radar system is able to maybe handle the advance the fleets of aviation industry? Any idea you have?
So for fighter jets, we usually don't control those aircrafts because they fly at very high altitudes at flight level 410, for 40,000 feet and above.
Hmm.
And so they don't require any radar systems per se to,
Hmm.
uh, to
Okay.
fly.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Fair enough. Uh, your your original place has been Prayagraj, right? Your parents, but you have but as I can see the address of your parents is in Madhya Pradesh. Am I right?
Yes, sir, I was born and brought up there.
So we have witnessed also that a lot of people from UP, Bihar, there is a trend of migrating to Madhya Pradesh, staying there in long term. So is it a pattern or is it like isolated incident?
Sir, I would call it as a brief pattern because I have seen a lot of families migrating because of the industrial opportunities and employment opportunities that Madhya Pradesh industrial corridors have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So, mat- previously, 20 years back, it had a lot to offer. Now,
Mm-hmm.
both states are equally competent to offer those employment opportunities. So, the migration has substantially reduced as well.
Okay, okay, okay. Being an engineer or being a person from technology field, why do you want to get into services? Because right now the work that you're doing, it is highly specialized technical stuff. And so first of all, why do you want to get into administration? Second question is that how you feel that your current knowledge will help the your understanding in administration.
Sir, I feel being into a highly technical niche field will only complement my abilities as an administrator. And so, to answer your second question, I would say from my job, I have learned to have very quick decision making skills and split second decision making, and also the keeping in the back of mind safety as the paramount criteria, which I have to fulfill at all times. So I think these two qualities, quick decision making, and also keeping the overall welfare of people in mind, will help me as an administrator to effectively cater to their demands and look from a broader perspective and welfare.
Okay, okay. So let's say you get posted in Prayagraj, and yesterday incident happened where there was a stampede with a lot of people died. Now, do you think that it was a failure of administration where administration could not handle, because it was very much clear that the scale of event is big and the thronging of people will happen in crores. So do you consider this as a failure of administration?
Yes, sir. As hard as it gets, but we have to accept that it was an administrative failure as well, because even if a single life is lost, the administration is responsible. And but on the other hand, we must also appreciate the efforts that they had put, but still we lost many lives.
So what do you think, what should be done in such situation? Do we need to have, because as we see that religious tourism is increasing, people are moving across countries, and such events will only increase in terms of frequency. So do you think that a country is prepared for such events management, or maybe we need to have a template, a legal law, maybe to be to maybe make people accountable for such things?
Yes, sir. If such things happen, we should have quick response teams. We should have proper things in place. And so for tackling this increasing amounts of religious tourism, we should have a larger picture in mind. If we are expecting 10 crore people to arrive at a land of approximately 10 kilometers square or 20 kilometers square, we should have that conviction from every rung of our department. We should have conviction not just in our top level brass, but that conviction should thrive down to even the lowest levels of our department. Only then we will be able to effectively administer such large amount of crowd, because we can't place hundreds of thousands, lakhs of staff to administer the crowd. We have only limited staff, and if we want, we should have that conviction.
Okay, okay. So you are a person and you want to get into administration, any role model you follow, or you have anyone?
Sir, when I was young, O.P. Chaudhary was IAS. He was my role model. Currently, he is a minister in Chhattisgarh government.
Okay, 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 okay. Fair enough, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Vivek.
Good
So
afternoon.
basically, good afternoon. Your home district is Gwalior.
Yes.
Can you name some famous political personalities belonging or hailing from Gwalior?
So former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and the Scindia family also lives there.
Okay. As I'm seeing, somewhere you were being associated with the karate training part, karate part that you have mentioned. Do you think the karate training should be compulsory for the girls in schooling part?
So making it compulsory would be too far-fetched, but I think everyone should have access at least if they want to, because most of the time people don't have the access in the first place.
What do you think? What would the benefits if the karate training is being made compulsory or accessible for the girls?
So it will make them more self-confident, and it will improve basically it will improve their confidence level, where they can defend themselves in any countering danger that might occur. So yeah, the confidence part.
Confidence. Even you were being associated with the volleyball, even. What is the reason in India why, other than cricket, no other sports have achieved that level, I would say, or why the people or that is not famous, I would say, why other sports are not famous, like volleyball, football, or other sports are not famous as a cricket? What is the reason?
So one reason is popularity, because if we cannot pull in crowds, if we cannot pull in 1 lakh spectators to watch a volleyball game, certainly we won't be getting sponsors, we won't be getting advertisements. One reason is that, and secondly, infrastructure, funding, and the training, and also uh, the recruitment of the talent, that is also not happening at that pace which is happening in cricket. For example, in cricket we recruit uh, personals at a very young age and groom them. That does not happen in other sports.
Let's say you are a sports secretary, then how you will make this volleyball and other sports as popular as cricket? What will be your steps for it?
Yes, sir. As a sports secretary, sir, first of all, we have to scout young talent, adolescent talent from different schools of our district, and integrate into the current ongoing programs. For example, the young Khelo India program and all, so that, and also scholarships can be provided by the state government. I was provided with a scholarship in karate, and similarly a scholarship also can be provided if they get some medals at the state level or something like that.
Okay. What are your views on one nation, one election?
Sir, it's a very progressive legislation and we should go ahead with it. It will reduce the policy paralysis and will improve the governance architecture of our country.
Okay. Have you heard about digital arrest?
Yes, sir.
What it is?
So digital arrest means impersonating a police officer or something, and extorting money or material resources from innocent individuals.
As I'm seeing in ref, your father is lawyer by profession, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is the difference between lawyer versus advocate?
I'm sorry, sir. I would have to read about it.
Have you heard the term called barrister?
Yes, sir. I'm only aware that it is a term famous in London, Britain,
Okay.
and not in India.
So, Vivek, what makes you happy? Finally,
Sir,
smile came on your face.
so my work makes me happy. If I'm efficient in my work, that gives me immense satisfaction. And if my family is happy, that also gives me immense satisfaction.
What's your vision in life?
So to contribute meaningfully in whatever I do, it does not matter what the specific.
Okay. Whatever you do, you just need to contribute on it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is judicial activism and how it is beneficial for democracy?
So judicial activism refers to the phenomena where judiciary takes active interest in the legislative and executive domains. For example, the right to privacy judgment passed in the case Puttaswamy case, or decriminalization of homosexuality were the examples of judicial activism. So there, as far as their beneficiality is considered, they can help our country to progress in a right direction if the legislations are not at par with what our society is progressing.
Vivek, what are your views on election freebies? Recently, you might be seeing in the one of the where the election is being going on, yani election campaign is being going on, and many of the political parties are being offering multiple freebies on one by one. So what are your views regarding the selection freebies? Should there be any control on the selection freebies? Is it beneficial for a country or a state? Do you feel that?
Yes, sir. I personally feel since there are no free lunches in this world, freebies at one point will only harm the fiscal interest of a state or our country, and someone or other has to pay for that stuff. So yes, sir, there should be regulation. There have been committees, for example, Gupta Committee on State Funding of Elections, and so, sir, freebies also distort the priorities of the government where they want to spend the money. If there is too much of committed expenditure, we cannot focus on capital expenditure on education, health, and so on.
So you are not in a favor of election freebies, right?
If right.
Okay. What are the major problems of Madhya Pradesh according to you? Currently, can you list me any 3 problems? Because as you have mentioned, your home cadre, your preference as a Madhya Pradesh and your home state. So let's say, what are the 3 major problems of Madhya Pradesh that you feel?
So one problem is water scarcity in few of the regions. For example, the Bundelkhand region, where we have fertile land, but we do not have water. So there is too much of agricultural distress. Secondly is the tribal concern. We have the largest number of tribal population in whole of country, but the tribals in our state are not at par with other states. For example, I'm living in Mizoram. The quality standard of living of a tribe here is way more higher than what it is in Madhya Pradesh. And sir, the third thing is about economic development, the industries part. We need to have more jobs, more employment. So these 3 problems, in my opinion, are ailing our state.
Nowadays, not smoking but scrolling has become the biggest addiction. Again, I'm repeating, not smoking but scrolling has become the biggest addiction among the youth and everyone. So what are your views on it? How we need to prevent or how we need to stop this part?
Yes, sir. The brain rot, which was also the Oxford Dictionary word of the last year. So I feel that this is a serious concern where the attention of individuals is being purchased and sold, where where the big social media companies want people to scroll and keep on scrolling. So we can tackle this problem by effectively countering the same, for example, giving them informative content, giving them educational content on the same platforms, because we cannot certainly take away mobile phones or social media accounts of those people, but we can on the same platform provide with enriched content. For example, if people were studying from books, there can be pages where
do you feel that there shall be kind of a ban on social media below some certain age, as we have seen in many of the countries recently? They are following the trend. So should India also follow the trend?
Sir, recently Australia passed the legislation below 16 years of age that social media accounts cannot be accessed. But sir, I personally feel that won't solve the problem in any case, because people might lie about their age and still access the social media platforms. But instead, we need to have proper sensitization where children should be encouraged to know what is good and what is bad involving their parents. So if an open dialogue is assured, that would be more beneficial than outright ban.
Probably after, just you can say day after tomorrow, probably we'll be having a union budget. So if given chance, what are the 3 major policy changes that you wish, or what are the 3 major changes that you wish to have in a budget if you are given chance?
So first is regarding this freebies. Different states are giving a lot of freebies. So I would make the grants to the states given by the central government more conditional. First is this. Second is, sir, I would encourage states to focus more on capital expenditure, in more expenditure in education, health, and such stuff. And third, sir, I would improve. I would give a scheme for employment generation.
My last question: according to you, is bullet train necessary or bread and butter for poor people necessary? What should be the priority for the country?
So both are necessary.
Both are necessary.
We cannot have bread and butter for poor people without bullet train in our country.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Pramod sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll just ask few questions on economy then. Vivek, can you tell me the arrival of Mr. Trump last maybe 10 days ago, how will it impact India's economy in long run?
So we would have more tariffs. So we won't be able to import the items at a rate which we were getting earlier. First is this. And so secondly, our currency exchange rate would be also be impacted owing to the dollar becoming more stronger. These two things, tariffs and exchange rate.
Okay. As sir mentioned, discussed about the budget part. Now I want to know that from a perspective of a common man, from middle class perspective, can you tell me what is the percentage of middle class in India?
Sorry, sir, I cannot recall the exact figure.
So I'll tell you, as per recent data, the middle class in India is 31%, though there is no clear definition for that. But as per a report, it is 31%, which accounts around 43 crore in the population of the country. But the perception of middle class in India has not been very positive recently because of the maybe tax rates and because tax buoyancy, tax collection has been all-time high. So what do you think? What should be done? How do we change that perception, and how do we help the common man, especially the middle class? Because new common man is middle class today.
Yes, sir. Certainly, our finance ministry should understand that we cannot hold the middle class hostage to resolve our fiscal deficit problems.
So middle class is not concerned about fiscal deficit of the nation. He is concerned about his daily expenditures, daily consumption expenditure, daily saving expenditure, investment expenditures. So what do you think that reform should be done from government side so that it makes more appealing and there is a feeling that there is valuable contribution to the country also, and there is economical level of satisfaction also from the effort we are putting?
Yes, sir. Sir, if I were to answer this in short, I would say we should reduce the tax slabs. A zero tax below 10 lakhs would be a good reform if it can be taken.
Okay.
And sir, also I would.
Okay, so I'll give you a data.
And sir, I would also suggest that.
Okay, I'll give you a data. So in India, 75 million people filed tax last year, out of which 47 million people, they did not pay even a single rupee. Now, if you enlarge that window, the tax base will come down. So do you think that is advisable input?
Sir, we cannot rely only on tax. We cannot rely only on tax base. We have to expand our tax base. We should expand our tax base by including, for example, agriculture, farmers who have annual income more than 50 lakhs, we should try to tax them as well so that we can expand them, but that needs political will. And also, sir,
Okay.
uh, uh, sir, we should move towards a more investment-led model where we don't need to counter the fiscal deficit targets every year that tremendously. So we won't be needing that much revenue itself in the first place if we would be targeting an investment-led model.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, Vivek, how was it as per you?
So, I mean, okay, because
Okay.
you could have
So, on
answered.
a scale of 0 to 10, where will you rate yourself?
So 7.58.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So, see, overall, I just felt that, see, because it's an offline, online interview, so a lot of things, it's difficult to judge. But I felt that, I mean, the energy has to be more. I felt little energy. Maybe also because of the way you speak. A lot of people have that conversational style. That is not a limitation. But somewhere I felt you were not smiling. You could have smiled
Yes.
when, okay, that kind of, was lacking. Overall, basic communication was good. Your answers were brief and precise. You made sure that you speak just very less so that we have to ask our next question immediately after 2 lines. So that is a good strategy, I would say. You are giving less space to the examiner to answer follow-up question. Yes, but I do feel that, for example, in the economy questions, I expected better answers. Uh, Instead of putting numbers, avoid putting numbers because it can always be countered if the justification might not be there. For example, in the last question, you could have easily said, sir, I think the tax reforms in terms of simplification can be done. Maybe exemptions can be widened like that. You can just give a very a generic broader because policy advice from something which is very tricky thing, and it will have its own degree of subjectivity. Okay, so I do agree, but I just felt that some areas like economy could be prepared better. Though I believe that current affairs will be preparing. When is your date of interview?
So 16th of April.
Okay, it's a lot of time is there. Okay, 16th April, a lot of time is there. You can prepare very well. Okay, so that is all from my side. I think you are a decent candidate. You will do well, and the areas that we discussed can be improved. Sir.
Yes, Vivek. Yes. Am I audible, Vivek?
Yes, sir.
So, about yourself, I would say you are a very good candidate. Certain things, the positive aspects about the clarity of communication is good. I would say decent you have. The knowledge on aviation was also decent. I think that you had. But as already sir said, which I also felt, you have a lack of energy or lack of confidence. Might be due to just this online interview. It might be there. So lack of confidence or lack of energy was being felt over there. Like you were sounding bit slow, so you can be more cheerful or louder and bit a smiling face. I won't say that throughout the interview you need to smile, but then when I asked the question what makes you happy, a bit smile came on your face. So I would say smiling face makes the environment and the interview room bit lighter, I would say that. So you can have that pleasing or smiling face over there. And your humbleness was being reflected throughout the interview. So you are very quite humble personality, I would say. Those are the good positive aspect about your personality, I would say. Now coming towards your answer, I would say one thing that I felt which was missing, that is you were lacking innovative approach in your answer. Almost I asked about 4 to 5 questions, opinion based questions, that you had opinion about like volleyball, karate, sports part, but somewhere even in the budget part you didn't had the 3 things, even in the MP problems. So innovative approach was missing. Like it was feeling that you didn't had the content. To give you example, I asked about by day after tomorrow budget is coming. So you didn't had any point, like you straight away said about the freebies part. And I would say even after second point you didn't had the third point, what are the things, even the problems regarding as what are the 3 problems that Madhya Pradesh is being facing. The first problem you said about the water scarcity, Second said a problem about tribals. It was also decent, but and third problem you were not sure about somewhere. I felt that. Then even what are the benefits which girls would get in the karate? So even because you have mentioned in your def about the karate, and there is one theory and the research was being saying that karate should be important, and there are many measures where karate is being made compulsory in many of the schools for the self defense, for the boosting of the confidence, for the mental health part. So I think the answers could be more better, I would say. So innovative approach could be there, I would say. Even basic part like difference between lawyer versus advocate, so brush up that thing, I would say, because you have mentioned the def, that is a thing, because ये सारी चीजें डेफ में है, तो I believe you can brush up these things. Plus philosophical question, what makes you happy? I think this is an full toss ball, you can hit a sixer over there, you can whole make the interview impressive just by answering one question, but you must, I would say, आपने उसको played कर दिया ऐसे ही. So what makes you happy? So I would say you can have a more better answer. I would say obviously have a realistic, but kind of realistic plus some emotional answer you can have in that part. So if any of the philosophical question is being asked, then you can have a good answer already framed, just prepared by what is your strength, what is your weakness, what is your vision, what makes you happy, what makes you sad over there. Vision wala question, you had a better answer. You by wherever I am, I will contribute it. You can. Then regarding election freebies, you had the stand. It was not a wrong, but still I believe that election freebies, rather than having just I would say you said bluntly, no, it should not be there because it is a burden. So I believe you let's have a diplomatic approach. Rather have, you can say it should not be there, but control should be there, kind of that thing. One thing which I have mentioned, which I have noted, sir asked about the stampede incident in the Prayagraj. You bluntly said it is a failure of administration.
Yes, sir, I said that.
Yes. So I would say if you want to blame the administration, I would say let us frame in the better words. Because the administrators will be there in front of you only. They will feel care. This guy is just directly judging them by the stamp, because the event which is going right now in Prayagraj, first of all, we should thank the administration for this huge event. So I think you should frame it in a better words. Okay, the administration has been playing a very good role.
9 crore
now.
people, imagine 8-9 crore people coming to one place and they are taking a bath. That is a whole population, half population of UP equivalently.
Yeah.
That is a lot of the Western European countries population is half or 1/4 of that. इतने लोग एक दिन में dip ले रहे हैं at one
Yes.
place. You can imagine the extent of pressure administration must be handling. So yes,
Yes.
it is a definitely, you can put it like administration should have, and anticipation was there. Maybe the management can have been better. And
Yes, exactly.
we
This
should
can be
learn from
better
it.
words. Yes.
We should learn from it and make sure that it does not happen in future. Right.
Right. Directly blaming or bluntly saying the failure of administration, I think the sir which have advised the better words, उस तरीके से आप better answer कर सकते थे, I would say.
Yes.
Overall, you are very good candidate, I would say. So your interview date is on 16th April. I would say if you work upon this suggestion, you can get very good marks, I would say. Best wishes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Anything you want to ask and discuss, Vivek?
Sir, I still have to work on my cheerfulness part, because I haven't been that cheerful person. In all the panel marks, I got this review. So
okay.
I'm still working on it. I have a mirror also in front of my.
Just try to smile more often. Things will be better, right?
Yes.
Smile. Try to smile more often. And as for the energy is concerned, as I mentioned, it is many a times people speak slow. It is a part of the personality. So it is not possible to change it overnight. Okay, maybe that's a natural flow. That is not a limitation. And I'm sure that people sitting there would not judge on those count. But one thing I feel that, so in there are answers, there are words which you can emphasize more. There are areas where you can, the tonality or tone of your answers can change with the importance of what you're mentioning. So that can bring maybe variation in your communication. and that will give, it's like you're emphasizing more. As a leader, you emphasize on important things, you are okay with normal things, right? So maybe that kind of attitude and your body language, your communication should reflect. That is what I believe. So maybe that can be emphasized, that okay, you feel that this part is important, so you can focus more there. So rather having a common tone in all the answers probably could also be a feeling. So that is what I felt. And so that way, that can be improvised by little practice, I said, I believe.